At first, I'd like to share words of Shinran Shonin from one of the collections of the words of Shinran Shonin titled Kudensho, compiled by the third head priest of our tradition, Kakugyo Shonin. So please join me in Gassho. Please put your palms together. And can I have my slide up on the screen? Thank you. In times of mourning, one must never allow their action to only add sorrow upon sorrow. If one does so, then rather than truly offering condolences, one only deepens the grief all the more. Wine is known as the drink that helps one forget sorrow. One should offer it, share in some laughter, and thus gently console and part ways. Only then can it be said that one has truly paid their respects. Let this be understood. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namanda Butsu. Nam. Good morning, everyone. And welcome to this year's Obon and Hatsubon service. And today we chant Shoshinge, Nembutsu, and Wasan. This is probably one of the longest chantings of our tradition, but still we couldn't finish all the Oshoko offering during the sutra chanting. That made me think so many people passed away, from last Obon to this Obon, and I would like to express my deepest condolences to those who lost their loved ones. And this year, we were hoping to have Reverend Dean Koyama from Palo Alto Buddhist Church, but he had a knee surgery, and then he couldn't drive, so he couldn't come. It's unfortunate, but I'm wishing his quick recovery. So today, I'm going to share one of my to-go Dharma talk when I get invited to the Obon or Hatsubon service to the other temple. But the words of Shinran Shonin I just shared, in times of mourning, one must never allow their action to only add sorrow upon sorrow. If one does so, then rather than truly offering condolences, one only deepens the grief all the more. I felt this is really true. So even at the memorial services, I try to make the attendance of memorial service laugh at least once during my Dharma message. And I know that many of the attendees of today lost your loved ones from last year to this year. But I'm not here to add more sadness to your loss, but I hope I can make you laugh a little. And if you had sake, that would be perfect. So today, I would like to share a story called, rakugo story, titled Konnyaku Mondo. And rakugo is a way of Japanese storytelling, which originates in temples' ministers' messages. And I like sharing this story during Obon seasons, because Obon is actually the shortened name for Urabon. And since the sutra, which talks about Urabon, is missing the original text from Sanskrit, scholar can just guess what the original word of Urabon is. And it is long thought to be Ulambana, and it means hang upside down. Now, according to the modern day research though, the word Urabon comes from a different word from Ulambana, but it means odana, meaning rice. And it became Olana and transliterated as Ura. And Bon means bowl or tray. But this expressed the bowl, the Obon, Bon, expressed the bowl. So it means bowl of boiled or a bowl of steamed rice. This is what the meaning of Obon. And it makes sense since the tradition of Obon is usually associated with making food offerings to the ancestors. But bowl of steamed rice, when I first came to the United States from Japan as a Rotary Club's youth exchange student in 1997, L and R was difficult to pronounce, right? I still have hard time pronouncing them if it's combined. Like, name, Marilyn. This is a really difficult word to pronounce, right? And then, boiled rice is a problematic word for me, right? Because if I pronounce R as L, it becomes boiled rice. And no one wants to eat it, right? So communication using the word is difficult sometimes. And especially communicating with the second language is difficult. And body language, gesture is sometimes easier to communicate. And thinking about this, the origin of the word urabon might be, odana or olana, but ulambana, hang upside down. This is not far off, translation for obon, or the meaning of obon. So here goes the rakugo story. At a certain Zen temple where no head priest resided, a tofu shop owner named Hachi took care of the temple grounds. One day, a monk from another temple visited, looking to challenge the resident priest to debate on Buddhist doctrine. At the temple gate, the monk noticed a sign that read, "Meat, alcohol, and garlic are not permitted beyond this gate." He thought, "Oh, this must be a good Zen temple. Let me challenge the head priest to debate on the teaching." Now, Hachi, being a manager of a tofu store, knew a lot about tofu, but he knew nothing about Buddhism. Still, he had been pretending to be the priest, wearing robes and chanting made-up sutras like Then people gave him offerings, and he wasn't about to lose that side income. So when the monk arrived and asked to speak with the head priest, Hachi thought, if I say anything, he'll figure out I'm a fake. Best to keep silent. So the monk started asking all sorts of questions regarding Buddhism, but Hachi didn't say anything. He just sat there, silent as stone. The monk then assumed, he must be practicing the discipline of no speech. I'm so excited to encounter a true Zen practitioner. And trying a different approach, the monk began communicating Hachi with hand gesture. First, the monk drew a small circle in the air with the finger. Hachi responded by drawing a large circle with like goofy face. The monk looked impressed. Then the monk held 10 fingers. Hachi then replied with showing 5 fingers. The monk nodded, impressed. Finally, the monk held up 3 fingers. Then Hachi pulled down one of the eyelid with a finger. The monk gasped and bowed deeply and ran off as if he was defeated by the debate. So one of Hachi's friends, who had been watching from a distance, ran after the monk and asked, "What just happened? Why are you leaving so quickly?" Then the monk replied, saying, "I asked him about the condition of his mind. I drew a small circle symbolizing a focused heart. He responded with a large circle. That means his mind is vast as ocean. Then I asked about the 10 directions of the universe, and he replied with 5 fingers, meaning he lives by the 5 precepts. Finally, I asked Amida Buddha and the 2 great bodhisattvas. He pointed to his eye, meaning truth is within. His insight is so profound that I'm ashamed to have challenged such a master. I must return to my temple and train harder by then. So back at the temple, the friend asked Hachi, what did that whole exchange mean? And then Hachi was still furious. Man, the monk looked down on me. First he showed me a small circle. That means tofu achiya store is this big. So I drew a big circle saying, no, this big. Then he held up 10 fingers, like asking how much the 10 tofu achiya store. So I replied, $5. Then he flashed 3 fingers, trying to haggle, make it 3. Right? So I pulled down my eyelid and said, no way. So this is the Rakugo story. But what this story teaches us? Do you have any ideas what this story teaches us? Right? Nothing but a funny story? Right? To me, this story is not just funny, but it teaches us how we see things with our self-centered viewpoint. The monk and Hachi observed the same gesture, right? But they understood in their own way. And this is actually what is happening in our daily lives. Don't we ever had a conversation with our family or friends saying, you said this? No, I didn't say that. You say you're gonna do this. No, I thought you were gonna do this. But argument like this happens because we only rely on our self-centered wisdom and viewpoint. It is like we are seeing things upside down, right? Upside down. So instead of arguing, we need to stop for a moment or even think that, oh, I might have said that, or maybe you are right. So as I said earlier, communication is difficult. And we cannot communicate if both of us have no ears to listen. So we need ears to listen. And on this occasion of Obon, we hear the calling, wishes of our loved ones who have passed away before us. And they are calling us to wake up. They are reminding us that we are seeing things upside down. And we take granted of things which should not be taken for granted. And we often think that this life with families and friends lasts for a long time, and the separation with them will not come so soon. And actually, that was my case. I took the life of my mother for granted, and I thought I have a lot of time to spend with my mom. But suddenly, her life disappeared in 2001. So when my first daughter, Aoi, was born in 2012, I thought how it would have been nice if my mother was alive, hold my daughter, and play with my daughter. But that is the past I can never change. So my mother's physical body is gone, and I cannot see her physically, but she is still teaching me to treasure the moment I can be with my family and friends. And she is calling me in Nembutsu, Namo Amida Butsu. Realize that you are seeing things upside down. And I'm sure that she is wishing my family to live as happily as we can. And I believe your loved ones are wishing you the same thing. So on this occasion of Obon, please recollect your loved ones' memories. And I'm sure that you will find them working inside of you to guide you and teach you the truths of our lives. And let us keep their wish close to our heart in our daily life. So I'd like to conclude my message with a reading of On White Ashes, written by Rengyo Shonin in 15th century. And I know service is getting long, but I will read it in Japanese first, and then later in English. So please join me in gassho. Please put your palms together. それ人間の性なる相をつらつら感ずるにおおよそ儚きものはこの世の始終中幻のごとくなるいちごなりさればいまだ漫才の人参の受けたりということを聞かず一生過ぎやすし今に至って誰か100年の業態を保つべきや我や先人や先今日とも知らず明日とも知らず遅れ先立つ人は元の雫末の梅雨よりも茂しと言えりされば明日には幸願なって夕べには白骨となれるみなりすでに無常の風来たりぬればすなわち二つの眼たちまちに閉じ一つの息長く耐えぬれば高願虚しく返じて通りの装いを失いぬる時は六神眷属集まって嘆き悲しめどもさらにその会あるべからずさてしもあるべきことならねばとて野外に送って弱の煙となし果てぬればただ白骨の溝のこれり哀れというもなかなか愚かなりされば人間の儚きことは老少不浄の境なれば誰の人も早く御生の一大事を心にかけて阿弥陀仏と深く頼み参らせて念仏もすべきものなりあなかしこあなかしこ On white ashes, in silently contemplating the transient nature of human existence, nothing is more fragile and fleeting in this world than the life of man. Thus, we have not heard of human life lasting for 1,000 years. Life passes swiftly, and few among men can maintain their form for even 100 years. Whether I go before others, or others go before me, whether I be today or tomorrow, who is to know? Those who depart before us are as countless as the drops of dew. Though in the morning we may have radiant health, in the evening we may return to white ashes. When the winds of impermanence blow, our eyes are closed forever, and when the last breath leaves us, our face loses its color. Though loved ones gather and lament, everything is to no avail. The body is then sent into an open field and vanishes from this world with the smoke of cremation, leaving only the white ashes. Nothing is more real than these truths of life. The fragile nature of human existence underlies both the young and the old. Therefore, we must, one and all, turn to the teachings of the Buddha and awaken to the essence of life. By so understanding the meaning of death, we come to appreciate the meaning of this life, which is to be treasured because it is unrepeatable. By virtue of true compassion, let us realize the unexhaled value of this existence, and let us live together with gratitude in our hearts. Humbly and respectfully, Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, Namanda Butsu, Namanda.